Hi guys, welcome back to ladensercrochets. If you're new to the channel, you're welcome. My name is Liz. Kindly subscribe and join the family. In this tutorial, we're making the simplest cover-up skirt you've ever made. Like, you're not going to need so many measurements. You're not going to be doing any increases. It's a very simple pattern, and I guarantee you, you're going to be done with this in no time. Now, I made my skirt as a mini skirt, but you can work this as a midi or a maxi skirt. If you want to enjoy perks like getting early access to videos or being able to suggest the type of content that you want on this channel, kindly join the membership club and I'll appreciate you a lot. Grab your materials and let's get into the tutorial. We need the following: a medium weight yarn. This yarn is 100% acrylic and it's a Kenyan brand. So you can substitute this with any medium weight yarn of your choice. It could be acrylic or cotton. Then we're going to need a 4mm crochet hook, a measuring tape, at least 2 stitch markers, a pair of scissors, and a darning needle. Get the yarn and start with a slip knot. Then chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. Pull up the loop. Then remove the hook and insert it into the first chain. Then put it back into the third, and we're going to continue chaining. So we're going to chain 4, then 5. Make sure that you're not pulling through. Then 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Then we're going to keep going until we get our hip measurement. So when you're chaining, make sure that your chain is a multiple of 3 or a number that is divisible by 3. So I'll keep going. I've done a total of 123 chains and my hip measurement is 45. So when this is folded into 2, I'm going to get my tape measure and take that measurement. And as I measure, I'm going to stretch out a little bit. And when I do, this gets me to slightly above 22.5. My hip measurement is 45. When divided by 2, it's 22.5. And that is the measurement that I need. You can actually get up to 23. So that's what I'm going to work with. If you don't want your skirt too tight, you can do a few more chains. Just make sure that it's divisible by 3. Once we have the chain ready, we're going to pull the yarn through to slip stitch. Then we're going to chain 1, 2, and 3. And that's our first double crochet. Then yarn over, insert the hook into the next chain, and yarn over, pull up a loop to get 3 loops on the hook. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2 to complete a double crochet. Then yarn over the hook inside the next chain, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So then we're going to place 1 double crochet into each of the stitches all the way around. I've started with a total of 123 chains. At the end of the row, I should have 123 double crochets. And the chain 3 counts as a double crochet. So keep going with 1 double crochet into every stitch, and I'll meet you at the end of row 1. This is my last chain in row 1, and I'm going to place my last double crochet there. I have a total of 123 double crochets. Count 1, 2, and 3, insert the hook into the third chain, pull up the loop and slip stitch. And that's the end of row 1. Then we're going to chain 3 and turn to begin row 2. The chain 3 is the first double crochet on top of this first double crochet right here. So we're going to skip over to the next double crochet and place a double crochet into it, then a double crochet into the next stitch, a double crochet into the stitch that follows. Then we're just going to place one double crochet into every stitch all the way around. At the end of row 2, you should have the same number of stitches as the chain that you began with and as row 1. So at the end of row 2, I should have 123 double crochets. I'm coming to the end of row 2 and I'm just placing my last double crochets, and this one right here is the last double crochet. So right there we have the double crochet. To complete row 2, do a slip stitch on top of the chain 3. So 1, 2 and 3 into the third chain, slip stitch. We're done with row 2. To begin row 3, we're going to chain 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. Then turn. The chain 7 represents a quad stitch plus a chain 2. The quad stitch is 5 stitches, and that is in the first stitch. So we're not going to work to count the first stitch, it's already worked into. Then we're going to go over the hook 1, 2 and 3 times, count, skip the second stitch and the third, and then work into the fourth, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through another 2, and yarn over, pull through the remaining 2. And that's our second quad stitch. Chain 2, go over the hook 1, 2 and 3 times, skip the next stitch 1 and 2, then work into the third, put up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2 and pull through the remaining 2. Chain 2, 1, 2 and 3, skip 2, then work into the next stitch, do a quad stitch. Chain 2, yarn over 3 times, skip 2 stitches, then work a quad stitch next. And this is a pattern that we're going to repeat till we get to the end of row 3. So keep going, I'll meet you at the end. Now, if your stitch count is correct, you should have 2 stitches remaining at the end. But in my case, I have 1. I might have skipped more or less at some point. So to correct this, you're just going to chain 2 and skip that 1 stitch that is remaining. If you have 3 remaining, just skip the 3 of them. So don't worry if you've missed a stitch somewhere. You can just skip 1 or 3 or 2, whatever number will be remaining at the end. To complete the row, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 chains. Insert the hook into the 5th chain and complete with a slip stitch. And that's the end of row 3. Chain 1, 2 and 3 and turn to begin row 4. The chain 3 is our first double crochet on top of this first quad stitch. So we're going to work into the chain 2 space and we're going to place 2 double crochets right there, 1 and 2. Then on top of the quad stitch, we'll do a double crochet, 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space, 1 and 2, 1 double crochet on top of the quad stitch, 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space, then 1 double crochet, and now this is a pattern that we're going to repeat to the end of row 4. At the end of row 4, we have 2 double crochets into the chain 2 space, then slip stitch on top of the chain 3. Next we chain 3 and turn to begin row 5, and row 5 is going to be the same as row 2. Beginning in the second stitch, we're going to place a double crochet, then a double crochet into the next stitch, a double crochet into the stitch that follows, and we're going to continue with 1 double crochet in every stitch until we get to the end of row 5. I'm at the end of row 5, and I'm going to complete the row by doing a slip stitch on top of the chain 3. The chain 3, not the chain 2, 3 slip stitch. Then we're going to begin row 6, and row 6 is the same as row 3. So chain 7 and turn. Go over the hook 3 times, 1, 2, and 3. Skip the second stitch and the third, work into the fourth, then complete a quad stitch. Chain 2, yarn over 3 times, skip 2 stitches, work into the third, complete the quad stitch. Chain 2, 1, 2, and 3, skip 2, work into the third, complete the quad stitch. Now continue to the end of row 6. I'm at the end of row 6, and I'll chain 2, then count 5 chains, insert my hook into the 5th, and slip stitch at that point to complete the row. Then chain 3 and turn to begin row 7, and row 7 is going to be the same as row 4. So we're basically repeating row 2, 3, and 4 as we alternate. So right now I'm doing row 4, then I'll go back to row 2, then row 3. I hope that makes sense. All you need to do is 2 rows of double crochets and 1 row of the quad stitch with the chains in between. So now we are doing the first row of double crochets, and we're going to work 2 double crochets into the chain 2, 1 double crochet into the quad stitch, 2 double crochets into the chain 2, 1 double crochet in the quad stitch, then 2 double crochets into the chain stitch, and then we're going to continue like this to the end. When we get to the end of this row, we're going to chain 3 at the end and turn to begin the next row, which is a double crochet row, and then after that we'll work the quad stitch row, and then keep alternating the rows until we get to the full length of the skirt that we want. So let me keep going with my rows, and I'll be back once I get to my full length. I've done a total of 23 rows to get me to my desired length, and I'm just going to show you how to measure that. And to do that, you just take the measuring tape, measure from the top without stretching, and that's getting me to 17 inches right there. So I have my skirt ready. At the end, we're going to chain 1 and cut off the yarn. Pull the yarn through and fasten. At the end, this is what we have. And now from the top part of the skirt, we're going to work a drawstring and attach it so that the skirt fits well onto the waist. So we need to draw the waist together like that. Because we've worked with the hip measurements, we'll need to draw it in order for the skirt to fit on the waist. Get the yarn and start with a slip knot. You can double your strands or you can work with a single strand. I'm going to work with a single strand, and I'm just going to chain a total of 200 chains. I have the 200 chains ready, so I'll just get the pair of scissors and cut the yarn, then pull it through and fasten. Then I'll get my darning needle and use it to weave in the drawstring onto the waist. So the darning needle, take the drawstring and put it through. Get the skirts and identify the front part of the skirt. So this right here is the back part. When I hold my skirt like this right here is my front part, and I'll begin from here. On that top row, I'll just insert my drawstring in between the double crochets. I'll not be skipping any of the spaces, so just go in between the double crochets with the drawstring. And then I'm going to continue like this to the end of that top row. So just keep going with your drawstring. So at the end, I'll make sure that I have 2 spaces remaining, and there we have our drawstring in place, and this draws the waist like this, so it can fit onto the waist. The next thing that we need to do is weave in the ends, but before then I'll make a knot at the end of the drawstring, and on the other side. Tighten the knot, then cut the yarn. Don't cut too close to the knot. Using the darning needle, I'm going to weave in this end. I need to make sure that it's on the inside part. So I'll just go down the bottom row and weave this in. I'll go to the bottom part and do the same thing. And there we have the 2 ends weaved in, and our skirt is ready. You can do this skirt as long as you want it to be. It can be a mini, a midi, or a maxi. I've decided to go for a mini. I'll be working several others in size midi and maxi in different sizes. So thank you so much for sticking around to the end of the tutorial. If you've enjoyed the tutorial, kindly leave a like, a comment, share, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and see you in the next one.